Hey everyone, this is Cindy at an open door, and oh, I just got emotional. How unusual for me, huh? It's I'm really pleased, and well, it just feels good to be here with our community, and my friend Linda Yameen. Linda and I we were just talking. We've gone back for almost as long as I've been on this path. Well, at least since I really got involved in the Course in Miracles community and everything that came from that. I'm not going to take up too much time, but Linda has been studying with Helen Hamilton for the last 4 years, and Helen has now given her blessings for Linda to go out into the world and teach self-inquiry the way Helen teaches it. And so um, it's really exciting that Linda has agreed to spend these next 3 Tuesdays with us. Little teaching, some direct experience, some one-on-one sharings. At least that's what's on my heart as an intention. And with that being said, Linda, I know that there's a little bit of an interest in your background, and then it's all yours.
Oh, so happy to be here. Thank you, Cindy. Um, Gosh, I thought I had, myself all organized. I knew exactly where to start, exactly what to say, and those plans never really work out. You you just show up and everything unfolds. And I know Cindy's used to that. We both kind of just see what shows up, what wants to be said, what wants to be shared. So the next hour is going to be a lot of fun for me. I hope it is for you. And then I'll be back to share more and to work with you more, and again to just see what unfolds. So I recently had to actually write a biography for Helen Hamilton's website, and oh, it was so difficult. I didn't even know where to start. But the biography basically says that I grew up in the Midwest. I'm in Kansas City, Missouri. And I grew up in, a regular church, Christian religion. And I loved church. I loved Sunday school. I loved the snacks after church. My friends were all at church. I had a wonderful experience at church, unlike some people who have a negative experience at church. But when I was a teenager and in my young 20s, I did just feel like there's something more to life. And that was when I started listening to Marianne Williamson. And she, of course, taught A Course in Miracles. And I studied it, yeah, as best I could, on my own. I met so many of my spiritual teachers through Oprah, right? She interviewed all of them back in the 80s and 90s. Oh my gosh, all kinds of interesting, beautiful spiritual teachers. But then I had children and, had a career and had to keep all that going. I still studied A Course in Miracles. And, I stumbled along found Teachers for God, and it was just wonderful, Teachers of God, and, met Cindy, and I loved that path. But here's kind of what happened is that I felt like I was just filled with concepts. I had a lot of ideas, and I could quote many of the scriptures, the phrases, and I loved saying, the words. They felt good. It kind of felt warm and fuzzy, but it just seemed like I was just sort of spouting things with no direct experience. Even though I basically had a happy life, love my children, love my husband, good career, all that was going well. But I really longed for a teacher that could lead me into a direct experience. And I didn't even know what a direct experience was. I thought it was going to be like angels and, oh, I was going to feel like God's hands on me. I thought that would be a direct experience. And how I met Helen, and I know some of you specifically wanted to hear about this. It was at the Pure Presence Conference, I think 4.5 years ago, 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago. And I just, clicked on the different speakers. I think Rupert was in that conference, Francis Lucille, all the big names we all know. And I thought, oh, Helen Hamilton, huh, who's that? And I just listened to her 90-minute talk, and I didn't ask any questions. I wasn't brave enough to raise my hand, but there was something about her. I just knew that she was going to teach, and obviously showed that in the 90-minute talk she did, that she was about directly experiencing, what am I? And I went to her website, downloaded everything I could. You know how you just start looking and downloading and opening and clicking on everything. Obviously found her on YouTube, started listening, and wow, she was really the first teacher that I met that had practices. Like, what could I practice every day? And who could I ask questions to? And, how could I get guidance on a daily basis or a weekly basis? Where am I on track? Where am I off track? And Helen provided that. So I became a member of her community. And, just like every other community, there's like a subscription, right? And I just started diving into all the videos, the teachings. A year ago, she started a teaching program, which is what I've been going through for the last 12 months. And now I was mentioning before the call, started, that, I'm an official teacher. I'm called an acharya teacher, which means one who leads by example. And so I work with groups or one-on-one with people that want to self-inquire. I also have had the training to teach the book Reality Check. And so I also lead some book clubs in that. And I know you all have studied that, right? I think you've studied it for 9 months, maybe, or longer. And that book is the highest of the high teachings. That book takes you all the way. It's incredible. So it's exciting. If you all have read that and studied it together, then I really have kind of a good idea of where this group is. You're not beginners. And it's okay if you feel like you're a beginner, but you're not. You're well on the spiritual path. I hate to even call it a path, right? It doesn't make sense to call it a path. But my so-called specialty is self-inquiry. And so I'd like to take this hour and really the next 3 weeks, 3 hours, to teach you the different ways to self-inquire, and then to work with people one-on-one, whoever wants to raise their hand, and we can work together, so that, again, the session is not me just lecturing about self-inquiry, but actually, going into a self-inquiry. And so if that's, okay with all of you, um, I would like to just teach you a little bit about it, go through a group inquiry, and then ask for volunteers who might want to just self-inquire one-on-one with me. So the first question I always answer for people: what is self-inquiry? And the quick definition is, it is a looking, a noticing of what you are, and it's not directed by thought. We're not thinking about ourselves. We're inquiring and asking questions. And this leads to a direct experience of what you are, not an experience that comes and goes. Not like, I feel really high and peaceful and now I feel really low. Those are emotions. We want to look closer and notice what's always here. And so self-inquiry is really just asking a question. And one of the most popular questions is, what am I? Or Ramana Maharshi's, who am I? It's basically the same question. We just kind of come in a different way. So I'm just going to lead us through, maybe a 5 to 10 minute group inquiry. And then I'll ask for questions, or anyone who wants to work one-on-one. And one of the things that is really fun about self-inquiry is there's no right answers or wrong answers. We're not trying to figure things out with our intellectual mind. Instead, we just look and notice. So right now, just noticing when you ask, What am I? What do you notice? You might notice that you're sitting in a chair, your shoulders are tight. Okay, that's a sensation that comes and goes. You might notice that you're feeling your body in a chair. Okay, it's another sensation that comes and goes. You might notice thoughts. Wonder how long this is going to last. I hope I don't have to go to the bathroom. I wonder if I need a drink of water. Okay, thoughts. They come and go. You might even notice an emotion coming up. You might feel sadness. You might feel irritation. Maybe your doorbell rings in the middle of this session. Okay, an emotion shows up. That comes and goes. So all of these things are coming and going. You might hear your dog barking, coming and going. There might be a smell. I can smell a candle burning in the other room. A sense of a smell coming and going. But what we're looking for is what's constant? What doesn't come and go? What's that? And that's what we want to explore. So sometimes when we look and we let go of the things that come and go, we might notice that something just stays. At first, it feels like it's in the background. We might even call it presence or stillness. There's no perfect name for it. We just have to call it something. But something is here. Something is noticing the emotion, the smell, the touch. Something knows the sensation of your feet on the floor. There's something that's sort of registering this. And you just know that you know. You know that you're here. And so we explore even more. How do you know that you're here? Can you smell the here-ness? Can you taste it? Can you touch the here-ness? You could touch your hand, but could you touch the here-ness, the emptiness? Is it tangible? Now, the important thing is that you actually look and notice. We don't do it by rote or memory. We begin like every inquiry is really fresh. And so we may notice that what we really are, what doesn't go away, what's constant, it's not tangible, it's not smellable, we can't hear it. It doesn't have any of those qualities. So the senses can't pick it up. But we know that it's here. So if the senses can't pick it up, then is the mind, is it picking it up? Is it a thought? Or do you know that you're here before the thought? So yes, you're here. And then the thought says, oh yeah, you're here. What comes before the thought? And so if we're not noticing the silence, the stillness with the senses or the mind, then how are we knowing the silence? Are we looking at it or are we looking from it? If we're looking at it, then, we're a separate person, a body looking at the silence. But we know that the body isn't registering this silence because the body smells, hears, looks, touches, sees. But we have no evidence that the body is noticing this awareness, aware presence. If the body's not noticing it, then how do we know it's here? Are we looking at it or from it? And we just keep exploring. When we know that we're not looking at it, then we can become more and more certain that we are looking from it as it. We've always been the silence, the aware presence. We've been thinking that we're a separate person, but we've always been the presence, the awareness, the consciousness. Now, I'm going to officially stop that inquiry. But nothing has changed. The presence is still here. The I amness is still here. My words are changing. My hands are moving. But the noticing, the looking can continue. So this is a little sample of the self-inquiry that we ask, and it's very specific to Helen Hamilton's community, although you can feel and sense it how other teachers use it as well. And this is kind of one of the styles, I'll just call it, that we use to have this knowing and this recognition that you are consciousness, you are the awareness. It is your true identity. It's never changed. Now I'm going to open up for questions or just self-inquiry with me, however you'd like this to go. I'm open to working with, 3 to 4 people individually or more people. We can just kind of see who has a question or who wants to just explore with me. And probably, Cindy, if people raise their hands, that's easiest, but it's whatever your community is used to. All right, looks like William has his hand up. William.
Hi.
Go ahead. Hi. Nice to see you.
Uh, it felt like I got to a point and I didn't want you to stop. And I noticed I'm moving away and moving toward, there's some other movement. No. And by wanting more, and I suppose that's why I raised my hand, because it's not my normal habit, but so what?
Let's do it.
So what? Yeah. And I just love that your questions kept pushing the limit, the limit, the limit, the limit. And that
Beautiful.
was that.
William, I'm just gonna use you as kind of my first guinea pig, feel if that's okay with with you.
I love him.
Yeah. And we're just gonna explore, and I'm gonna ask you some of the similar questions that I did with the group. But remember, there's no right or wrong answer. We're just exploring. And so it's just going to be fun, right? We're just going to play. So I'm just going to ask, when you look for yourself, what do you find? What am I? And just notice what comes up.
I've been filled with so many nothings that's what first shows up. That's a thought. And
That's
then
okay. There's a thought. The thought comes and goes. Okay.
and then a thought about that says, "Oh, that's a good thought,"
Yeah.
or "That makes sense." I have a question. It's easier for me to look at something, not you, not anything, just staring into space in a way. Is
Yeah.
that my question? Is that okay? Because that makes it seem easier so I don't
Yeah.
get distracted.
Perfect. That's fine. That works. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So now I feel I'm not that spot I'm looking at, but there's some kind of something going on. I have a relationship with not the spot, but the relationship with the looking.
Yeah.
And
Let's stay right there. Let's stay with the looking. So the looking, is it temporary, or is it something that comes and goes, or does it stay here, that looking?
the object I'm looking at seemed to come, and then
Yeah, objects come and go. Yeah.
there's something that I call curiosity. What am I going to look and see next? I'm curious about what's coming down behind my looking or saying or speaking. There's a waiting that I'm aware of for your next direction. And then there's a feeling of not wanting to disturb. It's like there's something reaching.
Beautiful, William. And what you've described, we're gonna hang out here in that space, because what you've described is something that doesn't change. You've narrated some of the things that have shown up. So find that which is looking. Can you find that which is looking? Something notices the object, something notices the space. There's something that notices the computer screen. And stay right there. This is not a thought, it's a looking.
What seems like there's a receiving in the looking. So the looking is actually listening, or
Yeah. This is it. What's hearing the words that I'm saying right now? What is that? Something is registering these words. Something is, yeah,
that word penetrates register. I've heard that. So like I'm not doing it, but something's doing it. So
yes,
oh, that I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
that
That
gets there.
seems
That gets you
present.
there. Yeah.
That's present. I can. It's like uh, there's nothing to see. Even the word looking doesn't see. The looking is
Looking is
the
the looking.
looking is not looking any longer at that. It's 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 almost like the looking is the recording or the registering or something.
Yeah.
Something's going on. It's not looking, it's just something's happening. And it seems like that happening is ongoing. It just keeps happening. This moment is happening. Is that looking? No, I don't know.
You're doing great, William. You're giving us such a beautiful example of just, you know, feeling into this. There's really no sensation when you kind of feel into the looking. All right. Does it have a smell or a taste?
Boy, I don't have any of that. It's
Yeah.
just that's just, and I look off. I don't even look for a smell. I don't look for a sensation.
Yeah.
I'm
You can't touch it. You can't smell it. Can't taste
I
it.
it's like I my eyes are looking at off into space, whatever that is out there, colors. But the nothing to do-ness, is that a feeling? It's
Not a sensation, is it? It's just
oh,
there. It's just there.
and the closest is I can come is it's just a relief, a feeling of I don't know, just a feeling.
Yeah.
And and then I'm noticing some old stuff like appreciation for this moment, you, the group. But that takes me away from where I was.
Yeah. That
That
brings
that
keep bringing your attention to what's looking, what's noticing.
yeah,
If you let your attention go to thoughts and appreciation and that stuff, it's fine. But if you keep bringing your attention back to what's noticing,
yeah.
that's
So
the experience of self. That's the experience of consciousness. Or what's your best word for that? Do you like looking or awareness or
well, if I'm with you, but it's presence or now.
yeah,
The word now, and I see all that as part. I call it a story, call it the old stuff. But this, I don't want to go there. It's that presence, that oh,
presence is
it's like I'm here now. It just stop.
that's all there is.
Just stay there, stay here, stay now, stay.
William, you're brave and you're and you're like I said, you're just giving us this beautiful example of just staying with this. And yeah, there'll be a distraction occasionally. Okay, no problem. But the
Okay,
now doesn't change.
so now I switch into that awareness of here's the whole group space, the time. I'm so appreciative of having this opportunity, but now I'm aware of the old programming coming in. I'm aware of that. Something is taking me away from this. It's trying to take me away from this present moment with it.
And it's just a habit where we want to tend to
Right.
focus on things that
And that,
draw our
that,
attention.
and that's what I'm noticing.
Yeah,
There's that habit. And who
that's
I
all it
am,
is. Yeah.
Steve, in this moment, it's almost like that's okay. Now slow down and let that go. Let that go. Oh,
And there it is.
I don't have any words for it.
Yeah. We use words, but they're poor substitutes. William, that was beautiful.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Just
I'll
sit with
run.
just
I'll
sit with
run.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just as
Okay.
you're listening to the rest of us chat and investigate. You're just sitting and knowing now, presence. Thank you. Yeah. Everyone will have a completely different way of expressing it. And we let go of any like, oh, that was a good experience. Oh, that was a bad experience. Just whatever shows up. So Chuck, I see you have your hand up.
Yeah, I put it up where I'm anxious and scared. I always feel like I'm never getting it. I've done listening to Muji and he's always talking about it never came, it never goes. And I do a lot of meditation for that, and
Yeah.
I never quite get there, but I'm really willing, and I would really like to go do
All
this.
right.
I better risk it right now. I'm not going to do it. And I had some of this stuff, I think Bill Free's done this too. Does it have a gender? Does it have an age? And
Right.
I'm aware that there's no gender or age with this, but what prompted me to jump in now for us got scared about, but was, I'm not sure, but I think I have an awareness that it's the same thing that's been aware when I was 5 years old, and when I was 10, and when I was in Arizona, and when I was someplace else. It's the same
Sure.
thing here right now.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's kind of a new awareness for me, and I thought I better say it out loud right now, or I'll never do it. So that's what prompted me to put my hand up.
Well, thank you, Chuck. And I'm here to give you hope, because when I
Use a
listen
little.
to, even when I listen to Rupert Spira, and it's like, okay, I don't know, I guess I'm getting it right, and I never really felt like I got it. And then after just a lot of repetition, obviously working with Helen Hamilton, and just kind of working with the changing the thought process. These practices change your thought process so that instead of having the habit of thinking of yourself as a separate person in a body that's limited, these practices begin to shift something. I can't tell you what shifts, but it's like there's something fundamental where eventually, if not today, that's okay, but eventually you're like, oh, that's what she's talking about. That's just ordinary. So we don't have to
It's
have
a
a big
big
epiphany.
adventure, because I've been doing a lot of recognizing that I'm body identified all the time. I don't want to.
Yeah. So I'm just going to ask you a whole lot of questions, and some of them are going to be similar to what I did with William and at the beginning. And there's no right answer. There's no, in fact, I mean, the questions are doing the work. When you're hearing these questions, it's just helping you to shift out of your old way of thinking, right? The old way of thinking is, I'm a body, my name is Chuck, I'm sitting in a chair, and I live in a house. And that's mostly how people think all day long. So these questions are just going to kind of bring us out of that. So I'm just going to ask, what do you notice? What comes up when I ask, what am I? What am I? When you look for yourself, what are you?
That's how I always get stuck. I mean,
There's no right answer.
I get that, but I don't get I am I'm going to my head with what I do, like with Nugi. I'm aware uh, of the body that's here, but I'm also aware that what's aware is beyond the body. That's what I don't.
Okay. And those are thoughts. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
those are thoughts,
there.
and that's as far as I
That's
usually ever get.
that's okay. Again, there's no right answer. There's no wrong answer. And so what just came up for you when I asked, what are you? You had some thoughts. You felt like you were a body, that there was an awareness of the body. All right, and what else comes up? I'm just going to kind of poke around here to see where to go. What else are you? What comes up? What do you find when you look for yourself? What do you find?
I always get stuck, but I don't.
That's okay. Do you
They
find some
already
arms?
said, I have this awareness. They said I do actually recognize whatever it is doesn't have a gender. I'm not associated with a gender. I'm not associated with an age. But that I don't know what that is.
Well, maybe that's a good place to go. So you know that you're not a gender. You know that you're not an age, right? There's a sense of that. So just go to that. There's a sense of something that's here that knows that you're not a gender, that knows that you're not an age. Now you're using the word awareness.
I like the word awareness and I like the word presence.
Okay. All right. Those are two of my favorites as
I
well.
connect to those words, but I don't.
All right.
I,
So
I never feel like I actually have a direct experience of what I put a label on.
well, and maybe you are having a direct experience, but your thoughts are telling you you're not. So we're just going to let go of the thoughts. I mean, they're going to come, right? You're not going to have just this completely blank mind. That's okay. And we don't need to have a completely blank mind to have the experience. And the kind of experience, that we're kind of playing with is, all right, something knows that you're not a gender. There's something that knows you're not an age. And that's where we want to kind of hang out. That something that knows. All right, does that something that knows, does it, I mean, you said you like the word awareness or presence. Let's stick with that. I'm going to call it aware presence. Does that work for you?
Mhm.
All right. So this aware presence, does it live inside your body? Is it stuck somewhere inside the body?
I don't think so.
And so we kind of play with that. If aware presence is not stuck inside your body, it's not inside your brain, it's not inside your face or your chest, we really can't prove that this aware presence, does it have a size or a shape?
It doesn't have a shape. It doesn't have a boundary that I can identify.
And see, this is your direct experience right now. Don't discount this like, oh yeah, I've done it before. This is important. You are directly experiencing now that you cannot find a boundary. You're looking and you're noticing there's no boundary. If as you feel into this, and it's not a feeling like a sensation, but kind of a looking, knowing feeling. There's just this sense that it doesn't have a boundary or an edge. Now, I'm just going to keep asking, does it feel like it's a circle or a square or a triangle or none? Does it have edges?
I'm not sure if I'm doing it or if it's my head, but it seems it's more like a circle.
Now, feel into that again. If it's a circle, then a circle is a shape. Can you really sense that it has curved edges? Or was maybe that just a thought? And I'm just asking.
That's a good question because I would have said that, but now I think a part of me is going, it was partially a thought.
Yeah, it was like maybe a description that, you read somewhere. But when you really look and you sense into this aware presence, it doesn't seem to have a shape, an edge, or a boundary. That's very clear. If it had a shape or an edge or a boundary, you'd bump into it, you'd feel it. Now, your body could bump into your computer. You could bump into your desk. But does aware presence bump into your desk?
No.
Yeah, this is the direct experience that we're talking about. So, Chuck, you're right there. You're right there. And this aware presence, I'm going to ask this again, does it have a smell or a taste?
No.
Yeah. Can you see it or hear it?
No.
All right. Can you touch it with your fingers or hold it in your hand?
No.
Right. What you've just described is, something that the body cannot discover. The body is never going to know this aware presence. The body is a sense machine. The body smells, tastes, touches, feels. One more, hears. All right. We've just proven that you don't need a body. You don't need your senses to know this aware presence is here. Yeah. All right. This is direct experience. I mean, I'm telling you things, but you're checking it out.
Yeah, I'm kind of experiencing it directly for the first time. I'm almost focused.
Yeah. Yeah. So we know we can't smell it, taste it, touch it. The senses have no part of this. And then we were going to just ask, when you feel into this aware presence, are you thinking about it? Are you using your mind to notice it?
Not now.
Exactly. This presence is before the mind. It's before the thought. You can have a thought, yes, aware presence is here, but aware presence is before that. It's prior. Beautiful. So what we've just done is completely discounted using a body. Right now, we don't even need this body. I'm glad it's here because we can have this conversation, but we don't even need this body. This sense of aware presence is just here. So we can't even prove where it's located. If it's not in the body, where is it? Where the heck is it?
Yeah, well, then I went into thinking my thoughts is everywhere.
Yeah. Well, and everywhere is a pretty good description. Everywhere. So does this aware presence, does it feel finite or infinite?
That feeling of infinite.
Yeah. And see, you're checking this out. You're not taking my word for it. You're checking it out. There's not a feeling of having any limits, borders, boundaries. Now let's have a little more fun with this, okay? If you're game to keep going. All right. So this aware presence.
Yeah, I don't want to take everybody else's time. No?
Well, everybody's doing it with us, buddy. Everybody's learning from you. And we'll have plenty of time. All right. I want to ask you a couple more questions if you're game. All right. Just a
Game.
couple more. All right. So this aware presence, does it need to be plugged in or turned on? Or is it just here?
It's just there.
Yeah. Does it need Wi-Fi?
No.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't need to have an outlet or a switch. It's just here. And we say it's here effortlessly. So there you go, Chuck. You are effortlessly here. Beautiful. Thank you, Chuck. You gave us a beautiful example of how to push through some resistance and just do it anyway.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. All right. We probably have time for one more. Yeah. All right. So happy to see you. I have to look, Patricia, I got to put my glasses on to see your name. Patricia, is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Patricia from Mexico.
Mexico. All right.
Yes. There's a
All right.
gentle breeze coming through the window, which I'm grateful for.
Yeah. Well, Patricia, let's just take the next 10 to 15 minutes and just see what you really are. Are you game for that?
And
All right. So, what do you find when you look for yourself? And I know it's an odd question. What do you find?
I have this overwhelming feeling of creative energy.
Wow. Yeah, and what knows that creative energy?
Oof. Being in this awareness, it's I've been working, I was preparing some clay to work on, and I got so excited as I was in this awareness of what was possible. And then I got
And
into fear, and I can get into fear right now. The fear that I broke my shoulder, so oh, I won't be able to use both hands.
yeah,
So, thought back to the moment.
yeah,
Take a deep breath. I'm aware of breathing. And then there's this expansion that's happening in my heart. And when that happens, I just kind of, it's profound. I go into this energy,
yeah.
creative energy. It's like all around.
And so we've got the feeling of the heart expanding, the thoughts
Tingling.
coming and going. All of those are temporary. There's kind of a surge and then it dies down a little. It's changing. Those are fine. We love things that change are fun, right? We don't discount them. And this creative energy it's a beautiful sometimes expansive feeling again. The shoulder thing, not so great, but right, coming and going, coming and going.
Right.
And we let all those be as they are. And we just ask, what is noticing that? What's here permanently that's not changing?
Awareness. The
Yeah.
now.
So I'm gonna just go with the word awareness
Mhm.
and just making sure, again, it's one of the best words we can use. Awareness, presence, nowness, beautiful. So
Okay.
this awareness that you know is here. I'm just going to ask the same thing because this is one of the styles of self-inquiry. Can you smell it, taste it, or touch it?
No.
Yeah. Can you hear it? Is it a sound?
I hear your voice.
Yeah. But what's aware of hearing my voice?
Awareness.
Yeah,
Feeling
exactly.
to think of.
Yeah. That's it.
Feelings of emotion.
Yeah. And we keep going to what doesn't change. The emotion comes and goes.
Mhm.
It's fine. Some emotions are more pleasant than others. Some we love a lot.
This
Some
is
we
a good one.
resist. Yeah.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is a
Okay.
good one.
Yeah. And whatever knows that emotion, does it care if it's good or bad?
Doesn't
Yeah.
care. It
Yeah.
just is.
Yeah. It knows the fearful emotion and it knows the loving emotion. It
Okay.
watches it. Sometimes it's been called the witness, the noticer. There's a
Right.
lot of different names.
The
It
observer. Yeah.
notices it. Yeah. And yet it's completely unaffected.
Mhm.
So this aware presence, does it ever change?
No.
Yeah. So again, the emotions change. You could move in if you moved into the bathroom, would the awareness change?
No.
Yeah. If you got zapped off this Zoom call, would the awareness change?
Mm. Thinking might come in. It's like, what? But no, the awareness will
Yeah.
not change.
Right. You'd have a thought, what happened? My computer, what went wrong? And so there'd be a little emotion, a thought sequence probably,
Mhm.
but the awareness didn't change.
No, the awareness doesn't change, but it's like there's this whoosh, like this wave of this creative energy. It's remarkable.
And we notice that too.
Right. But that comes and
Exactly.
goes.
It comes and goes. Sometimes we get mixed up with like a feeling, like, oh, creative energy. Oh, this is like a surge. And it seems as if that's really important. And that's okay. It can feel important, but
Mhm.
we want to find what's constant and what never changes.
Okay.
And you're there. You're exploring it. We're investigating it.
Mhm. Yes.
And, and so just like I asked Chuck, does it come and go? Does it need to be plugged in?
No.
Yeah. No power switch, no Wi-Fi. Yeah.
Is just is.
It just is. And
Just is.
and we couldn't smell it, taste it, touch it. We couldn't grab it, right, and take a hold of it. It doesn't really have that kind of form.
Right.
Yeah. And so do we need a body to have awareness? That's a tricky question.
Uh, I want this body to see what happens with the clay.
So we can use this body for fun experiences. Okay.
Okay. But
We
do I
can,
need it? No.
yeah, you don't need it to be aware.
Right.
Now, when you have a, when all of us have this really deep knowing that we don't need a body, what happens to a fear of death? Is there death?
No.
Yeah, we just cannot be sure that there's death. We've already proved we don't need a body.
Hmm.
And when you sense into this awareness, it's a feeling without a feeling, but you know it's here. It's
And I know
very
it's here
obvious. Yeah,
without a body.
yeah.
Hmm.
And
Yes.
so what if one day the body drops?
Hmm.
Is awareness affected at all?
I don't know. It hasn't
And
happened yet. That
but
I'm
that's
aware
okay.
of.
And that's okay. What we want to do is, we're just kind of softening this thought process that we think we know what happens when the body drops.
Mhm.
But we've proved that awareness doesn't need a body. So
Mhm.
maybe we can entertain the idea that there's a possibility that when the body drops one day, nothing will change.
You mean
We're just,
we're going to dive into that creative energy? Ooh, yummy.
who knows? Who knows, right? And it's okay to not know. It's better to not know than to be sure with this preconceived ideas of maybe what religion taught you, or I don't, what you heard, maybe what you heard from your parents or your culture.
Right,
Maybe we really don't know.
right.
And we only go by what we can directly prove. And so this awareness, if we can't turn it off, if it doesn't have a light switch to click it off,
Mhm.
then does it go away when you're dreaming, when you're asleep?
No,
Because it's aware of your dreams, right?
it's just
Something's aware of your dream. Yeah.
the interesting part is this yearning to join that creative energy. It's just powerful right now.
Now let's go there. Do we have to join it? Are we looking at it, or are we looking from it?
What a good question. Boy, my
Just
whole
stay with
body,
it.
my
Yeah.
whole body is vibrating right now. The bodily experience.
That's okay. Yeah, there's a bodily experience. It's kind of fun.
Yeah,
This
I am that
creative,
creative
yeah,
energy.
exactly. You got it. There's no separation between you and this creative energy.
That is
So this
so
is
beautiful.
Patricia, this is a good place to stop.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, my beloveds. I keep being told I lean in too much. It's a habit. I get excited when I'm working with people. Ah! All right, Cindy.
Quick question, and if anybody wants to hang and just chat after Linda leaves, I have a few minutes. I don't have to run out of the room if anybody wants to
Yeah.
talk about what just happened. But I do have one question before you leave us, and that
Yes.
is, do you have, we're gonna hang with you again for an hour a week from now. Is
Yeah.
there a daily practice or a daily looking or how many minutes or anything that you want us to play with till we see you again?
Absolutely. Yeah. What I've taught you today, we in Helen's program, we call it the lesson 3 inquiry. We actually give it names. You don't have to know the names, but it's called the lesson 3. And next week, I'm going to do a little bit of a different inquiry with you. But this lesson 3, you sit for no more than 5 minutes. And once you do it quickly, it'll be 3 minutes, 2 minutes. And you just ask, what do I find? What do I find? And you notice what's permanent. Do you find a separate person? Or do you find aware presence? And most of you got to this aware presence pretty quickly. Cindy must have worked with you. Or you've had some good teaching and training. And you just notice this aware presence and you ask the questions. Can I see it? Can I taste it? Can I touch it? Can I hear it? Go through all the senses. Can I see it? And just prove that to yourself every day that you're not using your body to know it's here. And then after you ask that, then you can say, am I looking at it? Or am I looking from this aware presence? So that's
Just
your
once a
homework.
day, just once a
Yeah.
day for 2 to 5 minutes.
Yeah. And have fun with it. Don't make it a chore. Keep it light and playful. I think, was it William that mentioned curiosity? Yeah.
Well, nothing but love and gratitude here, Linda. This has been, first of all, 60 minutes disappeared
I
like
know. Where'd it
crazy.
go?
And yeah, so much love here. Thank you so much.
Right.
You could
I'm going to
stay
hop
or
off.
go, whatever. Yeah, you said
Yeah.
you had
I've got
to
company
go.
upstairs. Like I said, I had to go to my basement yoga studio to do the call. So I'm going to hop off, and Cindy, you and I will just email message back and forth, and we'll get ready for next week. We don't have to get ready. We just show up, right?
Yeah, we just show up. But this has been a blast. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Thank you for people that were communicating with me and practicing it, because you did it for all of us. When we watch one person do it, we're like, oh, wow. Thank you.
Linda.
All
Thank
right,
you.
everyone.
And like I said, if
Linda.
anybody wants to hang for a few minutes and just communicate what they just experienced, sometimes it's useful to speak out loud
Yeah.
an experience. It helps cement it in. So I can hang out for
All right,
a little bit.
beloveds, goodbye.
Bye-bye. Was it worth an hour of your time? You want to share anything, Rana? You turned your video on.
Can we go on to a different screen? Can we go into maybe it's me, my view?
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
change-
just go back to gallery, Amy.
There we go.
There you go. Hi, Amy. That was great. I mean, there were a couple points in general, like when she said, look for a new direct experience each time. That was really helpful. Like, this shouldn't get boring. Like, there's no answer really to the question. And I appreciated those of you that spoke with her. Chuck's interaction was great. And I really felt, Chuck, like you experienced something in that moment, or at least I did while you were, and just back to that verb, it's the looking, not the looker. And when Patricia, you sort of touched on that, creative energy is a great synonym. The infinite potential that's going on, the looking, the noticing, I thought it was delicious. The last thing that I would say is, once again, the thought arises, could it be that simple? So the mind wants it to be so complicated, but then just sitting in a group like this and listening and sinking in, it's like, it's so obvious it's right here. And how constant it is. Like, I can feel into this sense that's always here, always been here, and potentially always will be. So thank you for this opportunity.
I've been listening to Helen do this a lot, long enough to hear her say over and over again, don't ever let the mind tell you you've got it. It really only 2 to 5 minutes a day. Do it more often during the day, but only if it's fun. But it's sort of like the Joel teaching. If you're consistent in just looking every day like this, there's going to come this point where something shifts and you're going to just be looking from that aware presence all the time. And then life just continues to deepen and unfolds from that. So not letting the mind tell you you've got it. And I heard, Chuck was great at talking, like I could tell that this is a concept. I know I'm saying it from that place, but then we could, at least I could. I'm not going to speak for anybody else, but Ron already said it. I could feel the shift from when Chuck was speaking from the mind and when he looked and spoke from, oh, no, you know, aware presence is not going to be stopped by a computer screen, you know? Yeah.
I was blown away. That experience, it really was an experience of, I am creative energy. Wow. I'm going to take that and just be there. And that awareness. Wow. That was powerful. Thank you for this opportunity, Cindy.
May I interject? I think that's such a clear seeing, Patricia, for you. And it's like the dropping of the body and the ego and the senses and just seeing the self, because she said something else. What was it? Continue to bring attention back to what's noticing, whatever you'll label that thing to be. That's the true self. And that's where the simplicity of that, the mind wants more. Like she said, the angels to sing and but it's such a sense of peace. Are we looking at silence or from it? I mean, that just blows it all away for me.
I think, my challenge, I will admit that in the beginning, I had to sort of remind myself to be patient because we've heard this, and maybe she didn't really have a good understanding of the work that we have done together. But that was fine. She adapted really quickly, and she did a great job. I will say that my challenge is that I stay a lot of the time in the witnessing awareness. And what I sometimes find is a sense of boredom or blandness or dryness, is what Lucille calls it. It just feels dry and like there's nothing there. And so what she, I mean, and I've done this before. So Linda just reminded me that you go to what stays the same. And that's where the dryness comes in, because you keep going back and going back to what stays the same, what doesn't change. And the egoic mind will say, well, that's boring. And this is what Rana was saying. That's boring. I want the angels and the bells and whistles. It's boring that it never changes. But then I ask myself, well, does the boredom change? Yes, the boredom changes. The boredom comes and goes. So what's behind the boredom is, whoa, what's behind the boredom is enormous. And I sense that I barely touch that. I barely am aware of that. Like that is so big and so amazing that then I think the task is, what is the nature of what's behind the boredom? What's the nature of the stillness? Without using the thinking mind, she said there's no effort, like let the answer arise. And I would love to hear from anyone that has spent time there, just really exploring what is the nature of this awareness. Yes, it's open, it's spaciousness, it's empty and full at the same time. It has no name, it has nothing. It's nothing. And yet it's crystalline. I can't, it's beyond words to say what it is, And then I think I don't have the tools in my mind to explore it. My mind does not have the tools to explore this beingness. And so I have to give up the mind, because the mind wants to use the tools it already has. It wants to use the senses, the taste, the touches, the thinking, the thoughts. It wants to define it. It wants to seek to contain it and control it. And it's completely uncontainable. That's just where I'm hanging. I
Amy,
don't know,
wait,
Jack.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to say it was well said.
Thank you. I just said I don't know jack shit. I do not know. I don't know. Right?
August is being polite. This is very close to my bedtime. I don't just unmute and speak.
Um, Hi everybody. I don't necessarily have an answer for Amy. I don't know if the person who has that answer wants to go directly next, or I should just. Okay, I'm just gonna go. So I'm not really sure what happened. I just thought I would share what just happened. But when Chuck was up there at the initial part of whatever was going on, I don't know why, just like this feeling came that was like, just like lean back and close your eyes. I wasn't sleepy. I wasn't tired. Like none of this is going on here. I'm in PST time zone. And the next thing I know, I just like wasn't here. I don't know what happened. And I like when I came back to, or like whoever or something came back to it, it was exactly 4 o'clock and the person running this was gone. Do you think my avatar stopped rendering? What the fuck just happened? I really like don't understand. I really don't understand because it was a weird experience where when I was coming back to it, it wasn't like I fell asleep and I was coming back. Like when I came back to it, it was still, when you're coming back from sleeping, it's like slowly the sounds start coming back. There was no sounds. I wasn't anywhere. It was like silent when I was coming back. I don't know where I went. When I started coming back, fully silent. And then I was like, what's going on? I'm not sleeping. What's going on? But I wasn't thinking. I don't know what was going on. And then I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, it all came back. But that wasn't sleep. I'm not sure what just happened. I'm not sure.
And I try to put words to what's coming up as I'm listening.
Yes, please.
And I'm not the only person who's listened to a lot of Regina Dawn Akers. So, oh, Joanne's not here anymore. um, what I've learned a lot from listening to Regina, and she went through this for a while, the thinking mind, the personality, until we get beyond that place, that part of our mind that tracks continuity requires objective awareness. So when you were sharing, and especially since you said I was fully conscious, without an object, without object awareness, when you move back into the thinking mind, the objective awareness mind, that part of the mind has no way to process the experience of being without the objective consciousness, that it does sort of what you just did. And I've heard Regina talk about sitting, having the experience of going, this is consciousness, and then hopping back into the awareness of objective awareness 45 minutes later as if it was a second. So the way she described it and what you just described sounded the same thing. So you were fully conscious, right? But
I
when you've hopped back into the objective universe, the objective from that part of your mind has no way of processing.
I genuinely don't know what happened. I don't even know what I was doing on screen, but like I was like this when I came back to it. I don't know. I don't know what was
Does
going
that
on.
make sense though, what I just said? Does
Yeah.
that, yeah. So
I thought
anyway,
I like
that's,
I thought I couldn't handle what was going on and like my avatar shut down, so I missed the whole thing. But the way you're explaining it, it seems like I deep dived into the whole thing, I guess. But I wasn't
oh, popped out.
or something. Like, but I didn't like intentionally do that, you know? That's weird. Or the me that thinks is speaking. I didn't intentionally be like, okay, let's zoom out, you know? I didn't that was just okay. It was a weird
And
experience.
the only suggestion, if that's what it is, I wouldn't let the thinking mind think about it too much.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I totally would not hand it to that part of the mind to figure out because it can't.
Okay.
I would make the decision. This is a really cool practice. It's kind of easy. I'm just going to commit. The thinking mind can commit to spending 5 to 10 minutes once a day, more if it's fun, to look to see if I'm looking at or from awareness. Because that's pretty much, that's it. And the way I've heard Helen talk about this lesson 3, she begins by saying, can you find a separate someone? Linda wasn't doing it that way, but that question works really well for me. Is there a separate someone here? Like, I can't find a separate someone. And then every other part of what Linda was sharing was very similar. I can't. So what is here? Well, I am. That's what's been coming up for me. Me, I'm here. Well, is the me who's here, does it have an age or a gender, or do I know it from, and I ask all of those questions. And then that sense of looking from it instead of at it is extraordinary. And it's fun. I was doing it on a walk that, you get to the point where, I don't know, it's becoming fun.
Okay. Got it. Got it. I was under, I mean, I thought I missed the whole experience, but I guess I was in it or something.
Yeah, I wouldn't spend too much.
August, if you want to, you could go back into the recordings and you can listen to it again because it was recorded. So you
Oh,
can go
Yeah,
back and revisit it if you want to.
yeah, I'd
I'll
love to do
have
that.
I'll have it up sometime tomorrow. I
That would be
think I'm gonna just make a post and put we're still recording it, so you can even listen to this conversation, but I think I'm just gonna put it in the blog.
okay.
Um,
Didn't know
yeah,
that. Okay. Sounds good. Thanks so much.
very, very cool. I love us.
So weird experience.
Anybody else wanna share about their experience?
I'm turning into a pumpkin, so I'm going to get off. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Cindy. Mwah. I love us. I love us. That was so great.
All
August,
right.
I'm so glad you're here. Love your haircut.
All right. Coffee at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Be there or be square. Bye-bye, everyone. And we are
Okay,
doing
toodles.
Helen at 6 tomorrow, too.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.